Number 12, construction. I feel like a lot of students have a hard time on these, and I wish that weren't the case because there's no math involved. So if you're more artistically minded, you might be, finding these a little bit easier. Angle A and 2 steps of construction are shown. Step 1, place the compass at point A and draw arcs that intersect both rays. Label the intersections as points B and C as shown. Using the same compass width from step 1, draw intersecting arcs in the interior of the angle from points B and C. Label the intersection as point D. So I'm going to do this. I grabbed a compass here, and so I'm just going to show you kind of how that would actually look. Placing at point A, you make an arc, and then you make another arc. You don't want to change the setting of how you have this. Then from those, you make kind of a bigger one out here in the center. Again, we're not changing the compass. Hard to do with one hand while I have the other hand filming. Don't have my tripod, okay? And then that, we were to label B, C, and where those two intersected, D, okay? That's what they're doing to make that image. Now, they want to know what places are congruent. Well, we made this arc and that arc without moving our distance, right? So AB must be congruent to AC, okay? And without moving, we did BD and CD, which means BD is congruent, and I'm a teacher for math, so of course I have erasable pen, okay? Oh my gosh, why am I doing so many squigglies that are unnecessary? All right, so AB, AC, BD, CD, I never moved my compass width when I did those, okay? So those are all congruent to one another. So coming back up here, constructing AD will create two congruent angles, blank and blank, because AD is blank. Select all lengths that are equivalent to AB. So I kind of jumped the gun talking here, but those are all congruent. So we want to find AC, BD, CD. Okay, so AC was one of them. AB, they had already said, BD, and CD. Okay, those are all going to be congruent. We made them without changing the length on our compass. And constructing AD will create two congruent angles. So let's construct AD. That would be a straight line. I don't have a ruler. Sorry for the there we go. AD. I should probably just, end it there since it just said AD. And what do you think AD is? Looks like it's maybe bisecting, okay? Because that's exactly what it's doing. It's bisecting the angle BAC into two angles that are congruent to one another, okay? So coming up, constructing it, two congruent angles, and we have BAD and CAD. So we have BAD bad, right? It's an angle, not a segment. You can tell it's toward the end of the day here. And that's congruent because it's a bisector to CAD. So BAD and CAD, right, are the two angles we made by bisecting. Because AD is an angle bisector. Now, if you weren't sure, you could look, okay, median. That's not a median. That's not even, it doesn't even make sense, right? And incenter. Well, are we looking at circles? Are we inscribing anything? No. So it must be an angle bisector, okay? So this is one of those problems that is worth probably at least 3 points, right? Because we have a lot of drop downs and clicky boxes here. So I really hope you can kind of understand it. You can kind of pretend in your mind that you have a compass and that you're kind of making these little marks so that you're able to get these right without doing any kind of arithmetic behind them.